Happy New Year, Simone.
Happy New Year, Dottie. How are you?
It's a whole new year. I'm fine.
Oh, thank you, God. Thank you.
Thank you, God, for giving us a new chance.
Please, please. Actually, this is very exciting. I was going to read some numbers about this year.
Oh, do that.
Yeah. So, we're in a 1 day, which is the magician in the tarot, and, and a 1 month. So this is all about, you have all the tools you need to create the life you want. Be a magician. Don't play it small. Come on out. So that's just wonderful. I love this day. It's got filled with energy of the magician. Then the fives are very interesting. We're going into a 5-year. 2021 is a 5-year.
Yes.
In the tarot, the Hierophant rules number 5. And this is number 5 of what we call the major arcana. There are 22 of these cards, and this is the number 5. And the Hierophant is your inner wisdom, what we call our intuition, our complete and total knowing that we are just an extension, a beautiful extension of the source of life. And 5 is, we've been in a 4-year. 4 is hard work. It's commitment. It's discipline. It's all of that, and family and community. And we certainly learned a lot about family and community, what we liked and what we weren't so happy with during this year. So 5 is asking you to go deep. It's also asking you to trust your intuition. Your mind's going to tell you all kinds of things. Your ego is going to do whatever it can to keep you wandering, worrying, working at it, comparing. The 5, the Hierophant says, there's a higher good for you. There's a higher good for you. Also, the 5 in Buddhism is in Tara. This particular Tara is the red hump sounding Tara. And she gives you strength to set clear, compassionate boundaries within yourself and with others. And you can discover a lot of creative solutions for challenging situations with this Tara coming around you. Tara is I believe, another aspect of Kuan Yin, and probably Mary, and probably all of them when you get down to it. And that's interesting because as far as 5 goes, this is a 14, which is a 1 + 4, 5, and this is the art card, and she was just talking about creativity. And this is when you learn to open up and let art move through you. Oh, there's a hummingbird that just came right outside when I said that. How pretty. Anyway, this is going to be a very creative year. Now, some of the things that 5 are known for, and then I'll give it back to you, Dot, are freedom, the energy of freedom, travel. It can be a very impetuous vibe. 4 is very grounded, but 5 can be very flighty. It's also very magnetic. And so if you're looking for a man or a woman or both, or if you're polyamorous, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to focus. Mm-hmm. For ADD folks, get some meds. No, I think you'll be able to work it. But it has a really big sense of adventure. It's very different than 4. It doesn't want to be as disciplined and hardworking. It wants to be irresponsible sometimes and fun-loving, and it's very versatile, and it can wear a lot of hats. So it's going to be an interesting year to see what actually, what happens. And that 5 wants us to breathe, relax, have fun, to be a little bit more lighthearted, and I think we will as we get into the year. Don't you, Dot?
I hope so. And this is a personal 5-year for me.
Oh, good.
I know.
That's nice.
I hope.
Yeah, that ought to bring you some time for you to do with yourself what you want to do. It's really fun for you to do. Besides this, of course.
Of course.
So let's talk about what we learned this year. And you all listen to us right now. You can be thinking for yourself what you learned, what you want to keep, and what you don't want to keep.
Well, one of the things that you and I were talking about earlier was each of us in this past year in 2020 were challenged.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who wasn't challenged.
Yeah.
And each of us had to learn something about ourselves. Each of us had to learn some things about ourselves, some of which we are thrilled with,
Mm.
and some of which we are not so thrilled.
Yes.
Discovering things about ourselves that would promote a good relationship with us,
Right.
a personal interrelationship with us,
Right.
ourselves, and also some characteristic that we could say, ooh, I really need to change that.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking that each of us could sit back for a few moments and just contemplate what in some moment of 2020 we discovered about ourselves that we really like. For a lot of people, I know it was patience.
Uh-huh. That
For
was number
those,
one, I think.
for those who were stuck at home, doing teaching with their children, doing things, finding ways. I think that for me, I realized how much more creative I am than I thought I was.
That's great.
And for me, one of the things I discovered about myself that I do need to change is a tendency to become very lazy.
I don't like that word.
Well,
It's a
well,
judgment.
well, yes, but here's the thing. When a day goes by and you haven't done anything,
Yeah.
I mean anything constructive at all,
Yeah.
I don't know what other word I can come up with.
Relaxed.
Oh, thank you.
Taking care of yourself. Self-care.
Yes, that's true. However, when there's more than one day like that in
Well,
a week,
we've had lots of days like that, right?
yeah, well, my point is though that when I look at something like that in me, I can justify and rationalize. I call that J and R.
J
But
and R.
I can J and R everything. But also I have to recognize that there was an aspect of me that came up just a little too often.
Mhm.
And so is that something I would like to change? Yes. So I'm thinking, what about you? Did you discover something about yourself? In either case,
Sure.
beneficial or not so beneficial?
Sure. I mean, one of the things that was really important for me to learn was how alive the world is and how beautiful it is. Because when all of us are in this worrisome, anxious state and not knowing what's going on and who to trust and blah, 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 it's so important to go back to nature. And I really had to learn that again. So I found myself having lots of conversations with big trees and little flowers and Rumi, my dog Rumi. We really went even deeper together, and that was wonderful. Also, though, it became really, I think what I cried so much during the time, I wept for the planet and the consciousness, and I did too much. And it was like a faucet once it opened. I've been holding it, for 8 months or 9 months. And then when the corona picked up again, I really was weeping a lot. And it was so exhausting. And what did it help? I hope it helped my nervous system, but it doesn't help anything out here, really.
You know, what's really interesting, I did that too. I became very weepy
Yeah.
over nothing.
Yeah.
And it isn't that I don't cry at a card trick.
Yeah.
Usually I do.
I've seen you.
But this was more.
Uh-huh.
I would burst into tears.
Yeah.
There's no one around me, but maybe it was something on TV, or I was very weepy.
Yeah.
And still am, by the way. So I think I'm wondering, how many other people have experienced that same thing. I know you watching us now have experienced some things about yourselves. And I'm just wondering how great it would be if each person just realized some of your own self-discoveries and decided whether there's anything you want to keep or if there's some aspect of you that you'd like to change. It's a great time. We're in a new year.
Yes.
It's a great time to look and say, how I used to be was fine for then. But for the person I am today, I'd like to shift this particular behavior.
And this is what Thich Nhat Hanh would respond to you by saying,
yes.
Welcome to the country of the present moment.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, I love all of his calligraphy, but that is the country of the present moment. Dig that.
And how appropriate is that for right now?
And he did these years and years and years ago. But wow, they're really important. And also, did you want to say more than what you were talking about right there, Dorothy? I don't want to interrupt you.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I'm excited about this, but I want to hear what
2021 isn't going to change that much.
Wow. Isn't she fun? She's so fun. Okay.
Anyway, no, I wanted to put that out there for people to just think about in themselves.
Yeah, I like
because this was a time that gave us each a gift in one way or another. Sometimes the gift is recognizing the real wonderful qualities we have. And sometimes the gift is saying, you know what, that is how I've been, but it's no longer appropriate.
That's really great.
I think so.
I think that's really very common what you just said. I think a lot of people went through and are still going through and will still go through more.
Yeah.
But there's more lightheartedness coming. And I really like the feeling of that because
I get that as well.
Yeah.
And you know, I had a couple of people say to me, are you going to talk at all about what's coming up in 2021? And I said, watch the video. Mm-hmm. Because at that moment, I hadn't tuned into anything. And maybe you have or haven't. But being tuned into what's to come, I think is important. And you know as well as I do that everyone is psychic to a certain degree. And when we get out of fear, remember that fear will always supersede your intuition.
Yeah.
And fear will come in first. Yeah. So as I looked at 2021, is it going to be a challenge as 2020 was? For some people, but I think the majority of us have put behind us a lot of the challenges and things step by step. Nothing's going to happen in an instant, but step by step, 2021 is going to become far better and far more successful. People will be feeling far more successful as 2021 opens. And what have you gotten when you've looked at it intuitively?
Well, compassion's the name of the game for the next 3 or 4 months. I would say as we move through the COVID thing and getting the vaccinations out there. And I just heard today that people over 75 will be able to get them pretty soon here.
Yes.
Which I don't fit into that, but Locke does. And that's great.
I guess I'll have to wait as well.
Yeah, you'll be waiting with the 2-year-olds in the back room. But anyway. Anyway, what I hope is that the balance that needs to come to this planet on a consciousness level comes in through the next 3 and 4 months. That's what I'm looking to. People of color are given what needs to come in their direction that's been stopped for a long time by a dominating group. And I hope that those doors swing open. Mm-hmm. They've started to. A lot of it's been through some very difficult situations, especially for everybody of color. And especially the Native Americans this year. That's what I've been working toward. So, but I feel like by July, I feel like it's going to be so much better.
I do too.
And people are really going to be like, oh my God, it's beautiful out. You know, we can go out, let's do some things. I mean, nobody's going to be feeling like, oh no, not again, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel that. I really don't. I think there's a big liftoff coming, and that 5 will really help that we, talked about for the year.
Yes.
That 4 was grinding. It's like, are you going to get this? Did you get what we're trying to give you as a lesson? Blah, blah, blah. That 5's not like that at all. 5's more like this, which is good. So I wanted to just read a couple of things from my favorite thing in the whole world now. And
I love that.
Heard of this, but my friend Erin Somerville, who's so wonderful, sent this to me for Christmas, and I'd never heard of it before. It's called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. And it's a story of the 4 of them, how they meet and what each one brings to the other one as far as a learning. And it's so pure and innocent, and the drawings are so beautiful. This guy, Charles Mackesy, is just a genius. So here's one conversation between the mole and the boy. Can you see that, Dorothy?
I can.
And the mole said to the boy, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" "Kind," said the boy. These are just little moments in the book that I love. And so the mole and the boy are talking, and he says, "What do you think is the biggest waste of time?" And the mole says, "Comparing yourself to others." And then the boy looks at the mole and he says, "I wonder if there's a school of unlearning."
Don't you love those lines in this book? I love those lines.
Then the mole says, "One of our greatest freedoms is how we react to things." And the pictures are so sweet. And a fox comes into the picture that's had a hard life and it doesn't trust very easily. And then a horse comes in that's magical. And here's a picture of them, all 3 of them sitting on top of the horse, the mole.
Oh, I know. I love that.
And the quote underneath says, and it's the horse talking, and he says, "Home isn't always a place, is it?"
Uh-huh.
And then at the end, one of the ends, I mean, it's a nice sized book, and everybody says, "Is it a children's book?" "Yeah, for the child in you." The horse says at the end, "Sometimes all you hear about is the hate, but there's more love in this world than you could possibly imagine." And that's how he closes the book.
I love that.
Yeah. Me too. I've read this thing about 14.
But I love the page where it says "the end" is crossed out and it says, "Look how far we've come."
Oh, brilliant. So beautiful. It's my favorite thing, my favorite thing. So I made a promise that we would take everybody on a little voyage into 2021 and what they want to begin to create today.
Yes.
And so
I'm wondering if it would be at this time a time for me to read Prayer of St. Francis.
Okay. Sounds wonderful.
All right. When it was written, it starts out with Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would like to say is, whatever your concept, your perception of the higher power is, whatever it is you call God, some people call God Charlie. Mm-hmm. And some people say all that is. But St. Francis said, "Make me an instrument of your peace. Mm. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy." Grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. And the reason that I wanted to read that is having stepped out of 2020 and into what we always look at as a new year as a new beginning, but to step into something new with perhaps a different way of looking at life.
Yeah.
And we've all been through some very trying times, but right now we're taking responsibility. That's what this prayer is really about, is being the creator rather than the victim.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm offering here, is a new way to look at life, a new way to do life in 2021. And that is my offering for the day.
What an inspiration. It's so
Thank
beautiful. You. The idea that when you pardon others, you pardon yourself.
Right.
Oh, I mean.
I know.
I just wanted to add my little prayer. And it's really just that every living thing, every living being on this planet has enough water and food and shelter and connection. I feel that's what I've been weeping about for a long time. And not just people, but the animals, the trees, the earth.
Right.
And let's wake up. That's my wish, that we wake up in this dream and we take care of everybody.
And because the consciousness of the planet must elevate.
And that's probably what COVID's about.
If there are no accidents,
yeah,
and I believe there are never any accidents,
yeah,
there's always something to learn, isn't there?
It's huge. Yeah, and keep our thoughts really positive as often as we can, because it's so easy to drop down for a minute, especially if you're watching TV all the time or reading the New York Times or HuffPost or whatever.
Right.
Those things are geared for drama.
Yeah.
Careful. And moving right along. So Dorothy and I felt we would love to take you off on a short journey, and then you can return to that place on your own whenever you want. Right, Dot?
Yes, absolutely. And we all know that we can, in our minds, take ourselves on trips and journeys that are absolutely wonderful, not only for our hearts and minds personally, but for the planet itself.
Yeah.
And just for a few moments, you might want to close your eyes or not. And as you do, I'd like you to make believe for a moment that you are entering a deep spiritual trance. Just make believe. And as you think about that, make believe that deep spiritual trance is deeper than any trance you have ever experienced. The beauty of it. And as you are there, entering it now, hear Simone's voice guiding you.
So welcome to this very healing, sacred earth. And feel your feet walking forward very slowly, kissing the earth as you walk, just feeling yourself on the earth and looking out at the trees and the grass and how beautiful it is. And just letting go, feeling your shoulders let go and your brain let go, letting all of that thinking just blow by like the clouds above you. And soon as you're walking, you're going to see a waterfall over to your right. It's so beautiful. It's healing light, just bathing the earth. And if you'd like, you can go over and stand under that waterfall and let all of 2020 be washed away. All of the hard times, all of the worry, all of the disappointment, all the feelings of being stuck or scared, anger, whatever. And just stand there for a minute. Just feel your body standing under this beautiful light. It's just cleaning and bathing you and loving it. All of those heavier emotions get washed away. You begin to feel that lightness coming into your heart and into your auric field and into your mind. And you can feel your third eye is so relaxed and at peace. And your belly is relaxed and at peace. And your whole nervous system is calm and happy. And just feel yourself, when you're ready now, thanking the waterfall, knowing you can return there at any point just by closing your eyes. And you're going to get back on the path up ahead. It's all laid out for you. As you enter deeper into this sacred land, freer, more positive, inspired about what lies ahead. And up ahead, you're going to see the most magnificent temple. You've been here before. Just notice the architecture. It's really interesting. It's very elegant, yet very simple. What is it made of? It's a part of your journey in 2021. And when you're ready, you can go ahead inside. Just open the door and go in. You'll notice all the candles everywhere, and that there's an altar just for you. And feel yourself going right up to the altar and noticing it. Just the lightness of the whole room. So beautiful, this room. And you're a light within the room. And when you're ready, go ahead and begin your prayer for how you want 2020 to be for you and for those you love and for the planet. Just say it to yourself or say it out loud. And as you do, you can begin to feel the cells of your dreams beginning to create themselves and flourish within you. You can feel the cells of what you're wanting to create flourishing within you. And you're so relaxed. Make your prayer. Nice deep breath. And perhaps there's something you'd like to place on the altar that symbolizes your vision for your life in 2021. And go ahead and place that on the altar. Could be anything. Something that embodies your vision, your dream. as you do that, you might bow before your altar, thanking it for being there in this beautiful temple on this magnificent land with the waterfall, knowing that you can return here at any point just by closing your eyes. You can return here at any point just by closing your eyes. It resides within you. This temple, this altar, this waterfall, and this very sacred land where you can come and create throughout your life. And now when you're ready, I'm going to count you back from 1 to 5. When you hear the number 5, you'll come all the way back, connected, deeply connected to your vision, and knowing it's going to grow in the weeks and months ahead. Number 1, beginning your journey back now, coming back with the essence of everything you've just created and experienced, and using it in your everyday life. Number 2, feeling yourself walking down the steps of this beautiful temple space and just noticing it once again, how elegant yet simple. And number 3, passing by the waterfall and remembering how light you feel and bringing that lightness into 2021. And number 4, walking on this very sacred land, and your love for this land and your heart feeling so much love for the earth and peace. And number 5, getting ready to open your eyes and keeping them very soft and coming all the way back now. Number 5, coming all the way back now. Nice deep breath.
That was lovely.
It was. Thank you for taking those. I went right with you. For a moment, I went, uh-oh, I'm going to go with Dorothy into this trance and I'm not going to come out. But it was beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I'd like to say how grateful I am for Dorothy, who has constantly found ways to technologically get better for us, running around, buying cables, doing all kinds of things, checking out the different ways that we can keep going with you all. And which is our deep wish for 2021, bringing you programming that will really open your heart more and help you.
Absolutely.
Move forward.
Yeah. I can hardly wait to see what's going to happen next.
Because we never know.
We never know.
Not with this, we don't. But I just want to say thank you so much for Dorothy, for being who you are, and to our audience, thank you so much for tuning in and telling other people about us. That's what we want. We want to reach more people and bring joy and consciousness and love. And
yes, and I too want to thank you, Simone, because you have been a major part of my life, and since the mid-'80s. And I don't know anyone, I've said it so many times, I know no one that I laugh as hard with as I do you.
Thank
and
God.
You are always presenting a new surprise for me.
Some good, some not so good, but
mostly good.
I know. And for you, it's been the greatest gift to really trust somebody and feel comfortable in being myself, no matter where I'm at in my life. So I thank you for that.
And I thank you for your presence in my life.
And I thank you for number 34.
Number 34.
Yes.
And we both want to thank all of you for watching, and from my heart to yours, sending you the most wonderful blessings for 2021.
And remember the Hierophant card. Go inside and get to know your higher self. It's the greatest gift you'll ever get. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Enjoy yourself.
There's a place
Be happy.
I sometimes go. Where the leaves